just about 200 meters behind. This is getting interesting. This is getting very, very interesting, and a little bit worrying for Eliud Kipchoge, who's still looking good. The bounce is still there, but is the tempo, is the rate at which he's running slower than that of the chasing pack? My impression is, Tim, that they are gaining, and we'll be able to bring you confirmation of that at 40k, but my sense is that that gap is closing.
Well, that's 6 or 7 minutes away yet. It'll be great to be able to see the gap back to that chasing group, but his last couple of kilometers are 2:59 and 2:57, and the gap is 43, 44 seconds. There you can see it's varying, it's hovering around 43 seconds, so it has closed a little bit. Over the last few minutes it's gone from, well, now we're seeing it's 47, 52, it's hard to tell, that's quite some variation.
Well,
but if it's around 45 seconds, I think he'll be safe, because they're not closing it quickly enough. They're going to run out of road.
They're going to run out of road, and just to remind you, it was 47 seconds at 35 kilometres. It is closing, but not enough. Here is Kipruto. We haven't seen much of him throughout the race. And the two debutants there, I mentioned, in the red, Kipchoge, Vincent Kipchoge on debut. He's got a 59.09 half-marathon personal best. And on the right of picture there, Tadesse Tekele, the 21-year-old, a 59.41 half-marathon personal best. That was in Herzogenaurach in Germany last April. What a debut, though, for these two. I mean, this is a story within the story, Tim, isn't it? Two marathon debutants here, and at the moment, Kipchoge in the red just disappeared off picture. There he is lying in second place. This is the chasing group, around 44, 45 seconds behind Eliud Kipchoge.
Yeah, good to see this chasing group, and the athletes therein wearing 3. Was it 3?
Yeah, Kipruto.
It is Kipruto.
So he's losing ground. So they're the two debutants here, running their first ever marathon, and in second and third place at the moment in this race.
Tough this for Kipruto, Chris. He's very experienced at 30. Yeah, he has run a 2:03. That was in Tokyo in March last year, when he finished second to Eliud Kipchoge. He's in his 15th marathon, so he's got plenty of experience, and he will know probably that the writing is on the wall as he struggles to see those two go away from him.
So a little over 10 minutes of running left for Eliud Kipchoge, with a chasing group who are slightly gaining on him, but we feel that they're going to run out of road. They've only got around 4 kilometers left, and Eliud Kipchoge, there he is, in splendid solitary isolation into the latter stages of this race down the Kudamm. He's going to do those dog legs and come out eventually on Unter den Linden. There he is, going past, I think he's going past our hotel, Tim, as we speak there on the Leipziger Straße.
Oh look, Chris, there's somebody going through your room, holding themselves to your laptop. Yeah, a little bit of cloud cover today, a little bit of mist over the city when they started nearly 2 hours ago now, and that was probably playing to the benefit of the athletes, because it's kept it cool. A little bit chilly if you're walking around in shirt sleeves or a t-shirt, but ideal for marathon running as you continue to sweat and benefit from that sweating. When it gets hot and humid, temperature climbs, then it's much tougher conditions. There is Eliud Kipchoge, massive bicycles trying to keep up with this fella around the streets of the German capital, and that chasing group, that chasing pair, Chris, have got him in their sights now. And it's significant when you turn a corner and you can see somebody up the road ahead of you. It gives you that incentive. It's like a carrot being dangled in front of you.
It is. We shouldn't get carried away by the foreshortening, of course, of those pictures. It makes it look as though they're just behind him, but they are still significantly behind. But the question is, are they gaining? And if so, by how much? And have they got enough road left? Kipchoge has got a little over 3 kilometers to go. There we are, Kipchoge left of picture, and the chasing group, goodness me. Now, at what point, Tim, does Kipchoge look over his shoulder, if at all? Knowing him, he won't. He won't give them the satisfaction of knowing that they're there.
Well, Chris, his 38th kilometre at 3:03. The world record holder, the defending champion, is tiring. That's his slowest kilometre of the race. 3:03 for kilometre 38 from Eliud Kipchoge, and they are chasing. They've got a target. He's got a target on his back, in effect. Or at least he would have for them if they could see beyond this car that's right behind him, which is a little bit weird.
So Kipchoge in the red is leading the charge. A group of three, Kipchoge and Tekeli, new names in marathon running, alongside Amos Kipruto, who's finished second behind Eliud Kipchoge on several occasions. But there is Kipchoge wearing 69 in his first ever World Marathon Majors, first ever marathon of any sort. And at the moment, and look at that, what an incentive that is. And they are gaining, no doubt about it. Has Eliud got enough road?
Well, he's got to remain calm here. He's 11 seconds up on them at the moment, up on the world record schedule, 11 seconds over world record schedule, I should say. So he's still moving at a remarkable pace, but that last kilometre a little bit worrying. 3:03, the world record. He was this stage, he was knocking out 250s, 252s, and they are closing all the time. There is a race on here. This is a fascinating final act yet to unfold here, Chris.
Well, we've been talking about numbers through most of the last couple of hours, and once again, I hope you've not found that too much of an overkill. But with all due respect, I think the numbers now go out of the window. This is all about racing, and this is all about this man, for example, Vincent Kipchoge. Was speaking to one of his team the other day and said he's really looking forward to seeing what he can do here. Just to remind you, never run a marathon before. 59:09. His best effort, that was last year over the half marathon. Based in Kenya, so we could be heading for a Kenyan 1-2. We've also got the Ethiopian Tadesse Tekeli in there as well, also on debut. Approaching 40 kilometres, and that gap is getting narrower and narrower. Remember, at 35k, the gap in terms of time was 47 seconds. It feels as though that has got a lot closer. How much is Kipchoge tiring? Just over 2 kilometres to go for what would be a 5th Berlin victory. And Tim, it's barely credible, but I ask you the question, can Eliud Kipchoge hang on?
Well, it's a very good question, because can you imagine, as they go through the Brandenburg Gate, them being side by side? The smile is there. Is it a grimace? Is it the Kipchoge version of a grimace? His 38th kilometre of 3:03, his 39th kilometre of 3:01, Chris. And just looking as he's approaching 40k, there he goes through 2:55. He has rallied. Maybe he got a little glance at those behind him. Kipchoge 1:56.06 at 40k.
He's picked it up, and you know, last year he did back-to-back 2:52s in the last 2 kilometres, and he looks as though he's rallied here. Maybe the message got through and he's just picked it up. He's not about to relinquish his Berlin crown that easily, and there's a definite injection of pace. And has he got enough of a buffer there to get him home over the line? 31 seconds at 40k, so they've made up 16 seconds over 5 kilometres. The gap is still a reasonably healthy 31 seconds. Can they make that up in 2.2 kilometres?
I think they're going to run out of road now. There's still over half a minute, Chris. He's, as you said, his previous couple of kilometres have been a 3:03, a 3:01. That 40th kilometre for the world record holder, 2:56. The competitive instincts coming to the surface now as he realises he's in danger, and he's having to dig very, very deep here. There's still loads of bounce in that gorgeous stride of his. World record 2:01.29, and look at those winning times, Chris. I mean, they just get quicker and quicker.
Well, that's his record here in Berlin, the 4 victories. He's heading for number 5. Haile Gebrselassie has also won on 4 occasions, so if he can hang on here, he would be out on his own in terms of Berlin wins. It would be 5 out of 6. There's the chaser, Kipchoge in the red. There he is on debut, having the race of his life. And what an incentive that is. Has he got enough time? There is that gendarmen marked, one of the loveliest squares in the whole of Berlin. They'll do a series of dog legs, turning left then right, then left then right, and eventually they'll come out onto Unter den Linden, and there Kipchoge will see the Brandenburg Gate, and a familiar sight, and he knows almost every inch of this tarmac. He's run it on so many occasions, and all bar one he's won it. Into the last kilometre or so, still looking full of bounce. This has been a very different race for Eliud Kipchoge to any other one he's done here in Berlin. The clock ticking round to approaching the 2-hour mark. The world record is not going to be beaten today. The sub-2 that we thought might be on in the early parts of the race has gone as well, well gone. And he's picked it up, hasn't he here, Tim? I think he's picked up the knees. The cadence is increasing.
We are going to see a world record, however, in that women's contest. There's little doubt of that now. I can tell you, Indefatigable is still pumping out 3:07 per kilometre. If she was going to run 2:14 exactly, she'd be running 3:10 per kilometre. But she's way inside that. She's going to threaten the 2:12 barrier. I mean, her last kilometre, 3:02 now, at 38k for Indefatigable. Her projected finishing time has come down to 2:12:07. Can you believe? It is, she's pushing now a 2-minute improvement on the world record.
Well, the current world recorder in the men's race has got one more significant turn to come. That's his view. He will turn left onto Unter den Linden in the sunshine, and it feels from here as though he's done enough. We look out for the red vest of Kipchoge behind him, the debutant, but Eliud Kipchoge turning left then, and the familiar sight of Unter den Linden, the tree-lined avenue, so significant over the years. The Hotel Adlon will come into view on his left, and from here we can't see it, but Eliud Kipchoge can. There he can now. There is the Brandenburg Gate, and from there he knows it's less than a lap of the track in track terms. Surely now he can't be beaten. The clock ticks round to 2 hours and 30 seconds. The world record will have to wait for another day, but Eliud Kipchoge is now on his way to a 5th Berlin victory.
Chris, that glorious sight of Kipchoge with just a few hundred metres to go, the glorious sight for him for the first time with the Brandenburg Gate, that is almost like the finish line. It's like a forewarning of the finish. If he gets there in first place with a gap behind him, then he can enjoy those last 352 metres to the finish line. He can stride out, wave to the crowd and accept his 5th victory. That is surely what's coming his way. It has been yet again a marvellous performance from Kipchoge, who for so long threatened the world record, but now is just threatening to win for the 5th time, barring disaster. He's nearly home and dry.
Well, his current world record has just come and gone. 2:01:09 was last year. It's still going to be a pretty good time. He's still going to come in and around 2:02 and bits, but the sunshine is out as he goes through the arches of the famous Brandenburg Gate, opened in 1791, and from here it's 352 metres, less than a lap of the track. He's been here so many times before, the crowd going crazy, the sunshine is out, and the stage is set for Eliud Kipchoge, who for the first time looks over his shoulder. The victory is secure. They had been threatening to come back at him. At one point we were talking about sub 2 hours. At another point for much of the race we talked about a new world record. That's not to be, but Eliud Kipchoge now is on his way to victory number 5 here in Berlin. Another masterful performance on the streets of the German capital, and now he can enjoy his moment. The pressure is off. Kipchoge in the red is behind him. What a race he's had. He will bring him home in a few minutes, but he's almost there. The finish line is there. The last few meters for Eliud Kipchoge. A different race here in Berlin for the first time, but it's victory number 5 for Eliud Kipchoge. 2:02:40 the winning time. The world record not bothered today, but he won't mind. He moves ahead of Haile Gebrselassie with a 5th victory in total in Berlin. That's 16 wins in 19 marathons. And what about the story here for our second placer? Brilliant performance, Vincent Kipchoge, his first ever marathon. No wonder he's celebrating. What a moment for the youngster. Yes, that's all about marathon running. Well done to Kipchoge, and Tadessa Dakele comes